Give us your favorite thing about America in your best American accent.
One of my favorite things about America is you can dare to dream. You can dare to dream, Jordan.
Oh, wow. I like that. G'day and welcome to the Big Down Under podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton, and today on the podcast, I'm talking to Ellie Gonsalves. She is a model, an actress, she's a podcaster. What hasn't she done? She's done a Super Bowl ad. In 2017, she was the Aussie in the Yellowtail wine ad at the Super Bowl, which was seen by over like 200 million people. She's also was handpicked to do a movie with The Rock, Fighting With My Family. She's done other stuff. She used to live over here in America for a time doing little modeling campaigns and other TV and movies, but has since returned to Australia where she's now married with her former manager. And now she's kind of the poster girl for never wanting to have kids. She wrote a long, expansive list about all the reasons why she doesn't want to have any kids. And that list went viral, and now she's been forced to defend it ever since. But she's like an amazing woman. She's done so much in her career and her life, and it really was nice speaking to Ellie Gonsalves. So without further ado, here's me and Ellie.
How's your morning been?
Morning's been great. Morning's been fantastic. How's your what time is it there? 7:30, 8:30?
No, it's 8:30.
8:30.
That's not early for me, Joel.
Oh, no? How
No.
you're an early riser then?
Yeah, usually, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I get up and work out. My Pomeranian also wakes up at the crack of dawn to be fed every morning. So
Oh God, I'm so over dogs. I'm so over
it's
dogs.
so over dogs.
I got two little kids, and when you got two little kids, then the dogs are like just
I would say I would be so over the kids, not over the dogs.
right. I know that. I know that about you. Oh, the interview has started, by the way. This is the interview. We've started.
Oh, perfect. Oh my God. Okay.
So
Off we go.
You're a dogs over kids person, clearly.
Yeah, well, okay. We've got a 14-year-old Pomeranian.
All right.
We have spent a lot of money on her. Her name's Daisy.
Daisy.
My husband and I, he actually bought her for I think it was like my 20th birthday as a surprise.
Which makes you
And-
1, 2, 3. Okay. Yep.
I'm 21, okay?
Yeah.
I'm 21 forever.
Yeah.
No, you're only as old as what you look, and if I get to 50 and I need a bit of a facelift, bit of a Kris Jenner,
Then why not?
I'll be totally down for that.
I mean, a lot of people are.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, she's 14 years old. Spent a lot of money on her over the years, but totally worth it because I see my friends with their kids, and it's a lot.
Because you are like, poster child for not wanting children. So I don't know if it's a poster child or just poster woman. And so I just find it interesting. You give your love to your dog. The sort of maternal instincts that you have, you put into the dog a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I also have a niece and a nephew, which I don't post on social media because I disagree with putting children on social media. But I do love them, and we spend a lot of time with them, and it's amazing. But we love to give them back when we're exhausted after a long day. And every single time we leave, I just say to my husband, I'm like, I don't know how people do this every single day, 24/7. It's actually exhausting. So power to you. Like I think the media ran with this narrative that I was like this child-hating woman, like a Cruella de Vil type person. And I was like putting parents down. But in actual fact, I am saying that it's a huge sacrifice, and people do such an amazing job juggling everything. And it's such I think it's fantastic. People do what they do with their kids. So I congratulate them. It's a hard job, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. No, I think it's like I got friends who kids aren't for them, and I've given them the old like, are you sure? And talking about it and like going, yeah, it is a lot of work, but it's all worthwhile because of X, Y, Z. I bet you have a lot of people in your life like giving you the old that same thing. Is that effective? Clearly, it's not.
Yeah, no, we've had everyone say the same thing to us. Strange, like even strangers who see us together and they see the dog and they're like, they'll ask, "Oh, how long have you been married? Oh, are you going to have kids soon?" It's just like, yeah, no, it's not for us. Oh, but why? How come? Like, why not? Children are amazing. I'm like, yeah, they are amazing. But I think with, not to like get into, sad stuff, but, my husband and I went through a lot. When I turned 25, my dad actually committed suicide. And 6 months after that, his dad got diagnosed with terminal cancer and passed away within, I think, 2 years. So we went through a lot of death and a lot of family issues. And all we wanted at the end of the day was just to have peace and happiness.
Mm.
And I truly think that we found that now. And I think maturing is realizing what makes you happy and what brings you peace. And I think for me, that was like how we live our life now with our dog and us together. That's just what brings us so much peace and happiness. So why change that?
I mean, that's a great attitude. That's a really great attitude. And like, I've been following you for quite some time. I know that you are open about your grief to do with your father and that sort of stuff. And it has changed the person you are and how you view life in general. Can you tell me, like, how do I put this? Like, what is it like having a parent who passes away in that fashion for a child? I imagine it must be incomprehensibly tragic and make you just question things about like yourself and your upbringing. You tell me. I'm so sorry that happened, and you have been such a open book about it and helping people who are struggling with mental illness and also just people with mental illness in their family. What's your journey been like since he passed away, trying to wrap your head around everything?
Well, he passed away when I was 25. We were extremely close, and I was actually living in America at that time. I'd moved over when I was 23, and he was my biggest cheerleader. Like we were so, so close. So when he decided to do what he did, it was we had a bit more information around as to why, and we go into this in a much deeper level on my podcast with my husband. But it was life altering. Nothing prepares you. And I think even when you're a kid, I feel like it might even be a little bit easier as to when, you lose someone as an adult. Because as an adult, I think you have so many more questions and um, it's just, I feel like it would be so much harder. But I think it doesn't matter who you lose. I think grief is much the same, whether it's your grandmother, your parents, your children. Grief is grief. And Terry Owen actually said that to me when she was talking about Steve. We had her on our podcast not too long ago, and she's like, grief is grief. It doesn't matter whether it's your husband or family member or whatever it is. It hits you just the same. So I think I had a lot of support going through that. I had my beautiful husband, Ross. I had my close friends. I had an amazing counselor over in LA. And that really helped me get through what I was going through. And look, I don't think you ever come to a point where you're like, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm good. I think you genuinely carry grief with you your whole life because it shows that you love that person and you never let their memory die. So you just constantly remember the person they were. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I would never want to take that away because that means that I would be forgetting my dad.
Totally.
So that's something that I've learned over the years. I definitely went through all of the grief stages of being like, why me? Why my dad? Like, why did this have to why did this have to happen? But it truly turned me into, and I'm a big believer of taking every experience that comes your way as a lesson. And I think the lesson that I took away from this was it truly made me understand the importance of what really matters in life. and not to sweat the small stuff
Right.
in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. So I think like when the whole crazy publicity of like the child free list thing came out,
Yeah.
people are like, the hate is awful that you're getting online. And I didn't really see so much of the hate. I saw a lot of people coming forward being like, thank you for speaking your true feelings on this, because nobody ever does. And it makes people feel less alone when you actually do speak about it. So when that hate came around, I was like, I don't really even see it anymore. I don't see the stuff that doesn't matter from the people that I don't want anything to do with.
Mm.
So it really put so much into perspective for me about what was important in life and what to really focus on and what not to focus on. So I think that also my dad's death was just such an awakening for me and what I really wanted for myself in life. And that happiness is paramount.
Right.
Otherwise, like, what's the point? What's the point in living, you know? So if you're not doing everything that you can every day to make yourself happy, then I think that something needs to change.
Yeah. No, totally. That's I think that's a really good attitude, and you sort of use that experience and try to, derive any sort of meaning in your life and help it guide you in the future. I think you're dealing with it in a very mature way. You said you were over here at the time. What, you were over here like acting and modeling?
Yeah, so I was living in LA for about 7 years.
Okay.
Acting, modeling, just doing the absolute most because God knows that I paid all that money for that visa.
Right. What sort of stuff were you doing here, like career and life wise?
Not so much like life stuff. It was literally just career. I
Okay.
think Hollywood and LA are it's work and work only, in my opinion. I didn't find a huge amount of happiness there in my personal life.
Is that right?
Um, Very hard, yeah. Like I think it can seem somewhat of a very transactional place to be. And I found it hard to make real friends there. I'm sure like you would have experienced exactly the same thing coming from Australia, and you probably would have gravitated towards Australians and people from the
Yeah.
UK over, a lot of people living in LA. I feel like it's a very different upbringing.
Yeah, transient. It is. There's people come and go from LA all the time. I moved out of
Yeah,
Hollywood when I could, over to like,
yeah,
beachside suburb where it feels a bit more like home, you know?
yeah,
But the
yeah.
Hollywood stuff and all, what were you acting in? I know you've been in movies with like The Rock and other stuff. What other sort of, work did you do while you're over here?
I did a lot of campaigns, so Good American, Guess. I worked
Hmm.
with like some of the most iconic brands in the world over the years, and I really enjoyed how hard I worked and the things that I achieved over there. And I even did a Super Bowl commercial for Yellowtail Wines,
I
which
saw. I
thank you, which
saw.
like catapulted me into the international stage. And I think it's really funny because in Australia, it's the thing I love about LA is people. It's a very supportive place to be if you want to be someone and something. Whereas in Australia, I feel until someone overseas is like hyping you up and loves you, they're like, oh, but she's ours. She's our
Mm.
girl. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like they take the ownership of you in that kind of a way, but I feel like it's not as a supportive place here in a lot of ways when you're really trying to make it.
It's the tall poppy
Um,
syndrome thing that we have, you think?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I totally believe that. Um, because it wasn't until I was doing all those things that Australia was like, oh, but she's ours.
You're right. And you like that, right? You like the people like, oh, there's no mine. No.
Yeah, so I was like, okay.
That's
But
got to be like a career highlight to be in a Super Bowl commercial that's seen by, I don't know how many million people or 100 million people that watch the Super Bowl. Was that like,
250 million people,
oh,
apparently.
see you in a
Apparently.
see you in the bikini on the beach, like talking to a kangaroo. Amazing.
It was actually one of the most amazing experiences of my career. Just because I also got to share it with my husband. So my husband was actually my manager for a really, really long time
Is
when I
that
moved
right?
over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. But nobody knew he was my husband, like not my husband at the time, he was my partner,
Oh,
boyfriend.
you were secret lovers.
Yes, yeah. So
Oh.
he was my manager. So nobody knew that he was like my boyfriend.
Oh, that's kind of hot,
Um,
actually. You know what I mean? Just hiding it from the public.
yeah. Well, we were very private for a very long time up until I think it was like because we've been together for 16 years. So I think it was like 2017. I actually posted him for the first time again on social media, and everyone was like, "What? Like what?"
How did he have the heart? Like, if I was like dating, someone like you, and that she wasn't posting me online, and that's what giving me that sort of public validation that this is my guy, I would imagine that I'd feel a little bit like, is she that? Why is she ashamed of me or something? Clearly, you weren't, but what was his emotions?
He loved it. He loves the anonymity
Oh,
aspect to it. He's like, "You're the star." He's like, you, you do." Like, he's like, "I don't need to be featured in anything."
until
Which it's
now.
so funny now. Yeah, until now, like it's so funny. We have a podcast together, and but he's not really on social media. He
Mm,
doesn't post a lot on social media. He's not. He has no interest in that kind of thing at all. So when when we got together, yeah, it was just he was like, I don't want to be posted. I don't need to be posted. I don't need the validation. And he is a man. Like he is so secure within himself. Like green flags everywhere.
green flags everywhere. Real men don't need to be posted. Real men are secure in themselves. They don't need to be posted.
Yeah, look, he couldn't care less, and he was just supportive of me and my career and pushed me. And it was, don't get me wrong, hard at times because we were working together. But when we did the Super Bowl commercial, we were flown over to Barcelona together, first class, put us up
Nice.
in a beautiful hotel. Um, it was like my first huge paycheck. And then when we got to the hotel and we're reading through the script that they left on the desk for us at the hotel,
Mm.
I'm like putting a face mask on, getting ready for the next day. And he's just like, I just hear, holy shit. Actually, am I allowed to swear on this?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
I just hear this, holy shit. And I was like, what? And I like ran out and like half a face mask on my face. And he's like, they literally say your name in this
I know. I
commercial.
couldn't believe that they went, oh my God, that's Ellie Gonsalves. And I couldn't believe like they really gave you the biggest plug on a
I
huge
know.
250 million people scale.
I know. It was actually mind blowing. And we're like jumping on the bed, like dancing. And
Incredible.
then the next day, it was so funny. We actually got to set and they took me to the trailer. And usually, like in my experience over the years, a trailer, like a hair and makeup trailer, you share with the rest of like the other
Mm.
people who are, on the team. And we got there and I had my hair and makeup done and I was like, okay, where do I go to now? Like where am I gonna go and wait if you guys need the trailer? And the hair and makeup artist team were like, no, this is your trailer.
It's all yours, doll. Oh, what a
It was this
fantastic.
like it was literally this gigantic trailer, and I was like, I actually seriously like, yeah, we are your hair and makeup. Like this is your trailer,
That's awesome.
and I was just like, damn, I bloody made it. My husband and I are like in the and I get to share this whole experience with him. It was just
That's
like the
nice.
coolest thing ever,
I
and
saw
I'm
you
like,
guys.
I've made it.
You guys actually recently. I was seeing that you guys had a wedding vow renewal. You
Yeah,
renewed your
yeah,
wedding vows, which I think I'm not about. I love my wife and all, but the wedding
yeah.
you were on a horse and everything, which if you're into that, sure. But what do you think about? Obviously, you're into vow renewals. Pitch it to me. Why is that a good thing to do, and why is it a good thing to do on a horse?
I actually think that there were a lot of people like, you got married 2 years ago. Why would you have a vow renewal? You don't have vow renewals until like 10 years later.
Mm,
But like, it's your life. You have the ability to celebrate it and do whatever you want with it. So, like, why not? Like, again, like, we're not having children and we are each other's life and universe. So, why would we not want to celebrate that with our closest friends,
yeah.
whenever we can? So, it's just also just like such a beautiful time to celebrate each other and spend time with our friends, because as you get older, there's only so many like life milestones and things that you get to celebrate and have all your friends together in one place.
Well,
So
next
like
year's
it's
wedding
you
renewal.
know.
Next year's and the year after that wedding renewal. Every
Do I just
year.
have to like one up myself every year
Yeah,
now?
it's like just a birthday marriage birthday. That's great.
No, I just love him so much, and it was a surprise. He had no idea that it was happening.
Oh, nice. And then he saw you there.
So yeah, so I just wanted to surprise him and do something. He thought he was surprising me with something,
Mm.
but he didn't realize that it was like a full blown wedding. But yeah, I just wanted to celebrate him and show him how much he means to me and how important he is to me.
That's
That,
fantastic.
that's literally the only reason why. So like, why not? That's my attitude in life. It's like, why not? Who cares what people think?
Mm.
Who gives a shit? Just go and do what makes you happy
Yeah, good on
and
you.
do whatever you want to do. You know?
We were talking about how like you guys aren't gonna have kids and that sort of stuff. I'm sure like you saw and loved when Bill Maher talked about you on his show because he is like
Yeah.
America's poster boy for like no kids, thank you, absolutely not. And but he loves kids compared to you. It seems like it's funny that you guys, you and Bill, like have that link.
Honestly, the virality of that whole thing actually blew my mind. I never expected it to go as far as what it did because I just posted it on a whim. People that have followed me, they were like, "We want to see this list," and I was like, "Okay, cool." And then my
What
DM,
were
like I
some of
just
them?
posted it,
What were some of them?
that your kid can turn into a serial killer. Your fetus can scratch your womb. It can poo inside you. You'll never sleep again. Like
All right, poo inside you.
at
Okay,
that
gotcha.
at that point, it was like 117 reasons why I'm remaining child free. But like it was more of a funny thing. I created it just to show people to shut them up because I was so sick of people being like, "Why aren't you having kids? You have to have kids." And I just showed them the list, and they never mention it again.
Right.
So it was honestly just like a funny thing. And I shared it with a lot of my friends, and one of my gay friends texted me, and this is what started the whole thing. He texted me and he was like, "Saw a really cute kid today, got like super clucky, reverted to the list and didn't want kids again." And
Right.
I posted it on my stories and everyone's like, "Show us the list." So I was like, "Okay, cool." Put it in the stories. My DMs were like actually popping off and going crazy.
Mm.
And I was like, "Okay, well, a lot of people seem to to really resonate with this." Some people were like, "This is ridiculous." And I was like, "I don't care." So I was just like, I'm going to post it on my statics as part of a like bigger story. As of, I think that was like maybe 6 o'clock that I posted that in the evening. And by 5 a.m., I think I had every major media outlet in my DMs and in my emails, requesting interviews and posting stories about it. And I was just like, oh my God,
Going
what have
viral, going
I was
viral
like,
like that.
what have I done?
Like I've never experienced it, but and you see, but like, you know, each week there's someone new who sort of like just goes viral in a huge way. Like, what's that feeling like when you just like suddenly the world is talking about you?
I don't think it's not something that's like crazy new to me, only in the fact that I was going viral for an opinion, not because of a job. Um, I had that virality through the Super Bowl commercial,
Mm.
doing a movie with Dwayne Johnson, um, all of these things, but never about an opinion. And I think for a lot of years, the attitude is better seen, not heard. And that was my first thing that I really posted about having an opinion on something.
Mm.
And I'm not someone who's like on there, all the time having an opinion about everything. It's just about the things that I've, feel comfortable and confident in myself talking about. Um, but but yeah, it honestly just it blew my mind that people cared so much about how I felt about a decision for myself and my body and my happiness with my husband. Um, I do think it was twisted and turned in a lot of ways for clickbait.
Mm.
And I get why people have the idea that I hate kids because if they read a headline of something taken out of context, I would probably sit there and believe the same. Um, but I love kids. I love my niece and nephew. They're the most beautiful kids. They come over here, they sit at my makeup table, we glam together, they run around with my bags and my shoes and sunglasses, and we have the best time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I do think a lot of it was really taken out of context, and it was just meant to be sharing my thoughts on something that at the time, no one was really speaking about.
Okay, and final question I got for you. I saw you debating this with your husband. Should strippers be allowed at bachelor and bachelorette parties? Do you think that I see that you wanted to kind of end that tradition rather than encourage it?
Yes, I think it's trash. If you are committed to someone, go and do that before you meet the one, like get it out of your system, do whatever you want to do. But I think that is so, unless it's otherwise communicated, if your other half is like, yeah, I'm going to go off and do the same, like you do what makes you happy, like whatever, like that's communication amongst your significant other. And everyone has the right to be able to make that decision for themselves. But if it makes your partner genuinely upset or uncomfortable, don't do it.
Right.
Period. You're going to marry this person and you're starting off your marriage on a bad note already because you're like, nah, I want a naked girl to come and dance on me. It's like,
is it kind of
where
cheating?
is the sense?
You think it's kind of cheating?
If your partner is uncomfortable with it, yes,
Oh, okay.
I do think it is cheating. 100%. If you're okay with it, then no, like people, you can make your own rules in your relationship, and that's fine. But like I am for doing the right thing in relationships and doing the right thing for your partner, unless it's otherwise communicated, it's like whatever makes you happy as a couple. But I do think if it makes your partner uncomfortable, I don't think you should do it.
I think you're the.
I think it's mean. It's hurtful. It's hurtful.
Whatever works for each couple is, that's kind of what you're about then. What works for you is no kids and this sort of stuff. What works for someone else, it might be plenty of kids, plenty of strippers. You know what I mean? Not at the same time, but yeah.
separate those two discussions.
Hey, Ellie, thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you. You're just you're doing such amazing things. You're so entrepreneurial and
Thank you.
You got your finger in so many pies. It's been great to watch your career over here in the States as well as in Australia. So thanks for coming on Big Down Under. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me and being a long-time fan. I've been a long-time fan of the show, I must say. TMZ is I was on TMZ when I first came to America.
Back in the day. Wow, well, this is a nice bookend. And you'll be in TMZ again. TMZ again. Oh, also, last question I forgot to ask. Thank you, Branson. Give us your favorite thing about America in your best American accent.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of like the Duchess of Bay Ridge. It's like Margot Robbie's accent in what's that, Wolf of Wall Street. One of my favorite things about America is you can dare to dream. You can dare to dream, Jordan.
Oh, wow. I like that. I felt like I was there. I felt like I was the wolf. Thank you, Ellie. What a way to end the show. Man.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellie. We'll catch you next time.
You're a legend. Thank you so much.
No worries.
It was so fun.
Christina.
Cotton. It's good to see you, mate. You've been gone for a couple weeks. I've had to have a fill-in.
I actually listened to your little segments with Ed, the American on standby.
Yes, there are no other Aussies in the newsroom, so I had to find what I can. And I've tried to get Ed involved in AFL, so I thought maybe there's a bit of Aussie element with him.
There wasn't.
No, there wasn't, because he also said Adelaide Swans about an AFL team, and I said, no, Ed,
that was
Sydney
funny.
Swans.
That was funny.
We live and we learn.
Has anything been happening in Australia the last week or so?
A couple things, actually.
Okay.
So that big mushroom case?
The mushroom murder case, yeah. Isn't that like the biggest true crime story in Australia?
It would have to be.
Yeah.
So killer Erin Patterson was found guilty of murder this week, an attempted murder. She, for those who don't know, she served a Wellington laced with death cap mushrooms.
Beef Wellington.
Beef Wellington. Beef Wellington laced with death cap mushrooms for her estranged husband's parents and aunt. Crazy.
She killed her in-laws. She basically killed her in-laws, invited them over, said she had cancer, but she didn't, I guess it turns out.
And she gave them this, what they thought was a beautiful beef Wellington dish, but no, it was the cause of their death. But the chef, so she was using a recipe for this beef Wellington dish.
Yeah.
And the chef has now been getting lots of phone calls from media because...
She needs.
Who?
It's Tin Eats, the chef.
Oh,
Have you not heard of the Tin Eats?
Chef Nagi
Yeah.
Mahashi?
Yeah, she's got a brand called Tin Eats.
Oh, I don't know that. What is that?
It's like I'm trying to get her on the podcast actually.
She'd be great. I wouldn't ask her about this.
Right.
I wouldn't ask her about
Now
this.
I know maybe why she'd be ignoring my emails, but like she's like one of the most renowned Aussie chefs. And
Yes.
the fact that she was dragged into this poisoning case.
I know, terrible. But she spent more time improving her beef Wellington recipe than any other recipe.
I
So
bet.
this is the recipe that was like her pride and joy, and now it's been brought into this murder case.
I kind of want to try it now.
The beef, of course.
Her beef Wellington dish.
Of course. Like, I'm sure she's like, I didn't mean those mushrooms.
Right.
So yeah, that was a big thing. She's come out and said, like, it is of course upsetting to learn that one of my recipes, perhaps the one I've spent more hours perfecting than any other, something that I created to bring joy and happiness, is entangled in this tragic situation.
Oh, I gotta try it.
Then
I gotta
she
try
shared,
this recipe.
but at the end of her caption, she adds a mushroom emoji, which I thought was funny.
All right, good.
Okay, next.
Next.
Robert Irwin.
Okay, what's he up to?
Robert Irwin is a criminal.
Oh, do tell.
It's terrible. Another criminal in our country.
Oh no.
He dined and dashed.
Oh, you did one of those dine and dashes?
Yes.
I remember those back in the day.
Yeah, but you know, Robert, have you done one before?
Have I done one? I'm trying to remember. Probably.
It's on my bucket list.
If the waiters are really... No, you shouldn't commit crimes.
No.
Yeah, but anyway.
Well, as we all know, Robert Irwin is the darling of Australia. He's
Yes.
so sweet. That family could do no wrong.
A little
So-
too sweet, almost.
We're trying to get him on the podcast.
He's
What
just
are you
very, very
doing?
nice guy. Very, very nice. He's like one of those people, like if I was his PR, I'd ask him to get a little more edge.
No, I don't think so. This
Don't you
is
think
his
so?
edge. His edge is that he's the nicest person in Australia.
Okay.
Like, that's very rare. People are usually mean.
Yeah, facts.
Anyway, so he, of course, didn't want to hide the fact that he dined and dashed. He had to tell the world and, admit to his crime. And he's shared on Instagram about the fact that he was driving through Coffs Harbour in New South Wales, a small country town, and he just wanted to have something to eat. Found a little restaurant, and turns out it was the place to be in Coffs Harbour because it was filled to the brim with patrons, and they all saw him. They were all getting around him, wanting photos.
Crikey.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then the guys who were getting his salad ready, like, quickly got it ready and then gave it to him, and he rushed out. And he forgot to pay. He didn't pay. But he's shared it on Instagram, and now everyone is getting around this restaurant in Coffs Harbour. The Instagram followers have gone up triple. He said he's going to come back one day and pay, but hopefully these followers will help.
See, I picture him getting a salad too. Like, if
He's
you're
got a six-pack now.
he does have a six-pack, and
Yeah.
he's about to be on Dancing with the Stars over
He
here.
is. So he needs to keep up the greens, the veggies, make sure he looks hot.
Like, he's obviously a big star already, but I just think maybe we're going to see a lot more of him.
Oh, this is going to catapult him to, like, a whole different stratosphere.
I'm
of
surprised
stardom.
he doesn't have his own, like, show over here.
He's only 21. He has his whole career ahead of him
yeah,
still.
he's going to be massive.
Like, he is going to be big.
It's interesting that Bindi was, like, the Irwin for a while.
Yes.
And then she, like, stepped back. Now she's got a family. She obviously doesn't want to be, like, the massive... She won Dancing with the Stars as well over here.
But also, dancing wasn't like it is now. Like, the last season we saw, everyone got around it. It was the biggest, every news story each day was something new.
Well, we'll be rooting for him, won't we?
Oh, God,
We'll
yeah.
be flying the flag, trying to support him.
God,
Aussie,
yeah.
Aussie in the audience.
Yep, I'm excited. I'll be there every week.
Oh, nice.
I go to dancing to do the interviews. so
Fantastic.
hopefully get a few bites for him.
Yeah, add it
For
to
the podcast. Of course.
Hell
We'd love to have him on. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
We will.
Get him on one day. All right, Christina.
Thanks. Did you like them?
Yeah, I like them. You get a minus.
Oh, let's not start rating me every week.
Let's not rate. That was
God,
fantastic.
that affects my self-worth.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Christina, and we'll see you guys here next week.
Bye.